Peyton Burnham has pitched like an All-American in the NCAA tournament. They turn to her again in an elimination must-win game, winner to the World Series. She's been nothing short of brilliant through these last 2 weeks.
You have to go with the hot hand, and this is the most important game of her career after the most important game of her career. And so she's going to throw up and down. We saw it last night. The rise ball was jumping. She can also go down in the zone with the drop. Has a great changeup to offset.
She will take on this Ole Miss starting lineup brought to you by Capital One, led by Aliyah Benford with a program record 55 runs batted in. Ole Miss had a team batting average of .310 coming into the Super Regional. Last night against Peyton Burnham, they were just 3 for 24. How will they fare in their second meeting in as many days? And game 3 of the Fayetteville Super Regional is underway. Jaden Pone has been so instrumental in this team's success, from unseeded to 1 game away from Oklahoma City. Hit an SEC best .427 during league play, helping Ole Miss make the NCAA tournament.
Burnham last night really worked arm side heavy with the rise ball away to the left-handed hitters, in to the right-handed hitters for Ole Miss. And I tell you right now, Matt, this first inning might be the most important inning. Between the last 2 days, the team that won was the team that scored first. And you look out to the crowd, and I mean, credit the crowd because it's electric. The music is bumping, everyone's on edge, they're loud, and sometimes you don't want to be out on defense. You want to be on offense.
Leadoff walk drawn by Jaden Pone. Already a better start than the way Ole Miss ended last night. Rebels' last 14 hitters were set down in a row to end that game. But you know what? Jamie Traxel has kept it loose. She did in the postgame presser, as she has all year with this team. There's been a special culture as this is sent in the air to center off the bat of Boutte. It is gone! And the Rebs strike first in game 3.
Ole Miss loves to be the visitors. I called their regional last weekend, and they get after it in the first inning. Top of the first, this is where they thrive. You have the leadoff walk to Jaden Pone and Lair Boutte, 2 seniors at the top of this lineup. You know that there's a lot of talk about what they saw from Peyton Burnham last night. We're held scoreless. We're going to watch some film, watch your at-bats, talk about it as a collective, and have a different game plan going into the next day.
Boutte had 2 of Ole Miss's 3 hits last night off of Burnham. None were as deep as that. As Aliyah Benford comes in hacking down in the count 0-2. But hasn't that been the attitude of Ole Miss all year?
100%.
We're playing a seeded team?
Yes,
who cares?
exactly.
We're playing a team that shut us out last night? So what?
They are the underdog. They are the spoiler. And I think they really thrive when the opposing crowd is super loud. It's almost like they take that and run with it, create that momentum and spin it, because there is no pressure on you as the visiting team.
Benford in the air to left, and it gets over the head of Reagan Kramer. Benford digging for 2. It's a double for the 6-year senior. What a start for Hottie Toddy.
And then you just pass the bat. Aliyah Benford, Lair Boutte, Jaden Pone, all 3 seniors at the top of this lineup fighting for their season. This is a sharply hit ball by Aliyah Benford, but Reagan Kramer out in left field had a couple of steps in before she drop stepped to go back, just misread that in left field.
First extra base hit of the Super against Peyton Burnham, and now Percy Yamas calls time. And Robyn Herron, the ace all year for Arkansas, already getting loose in the Hogs bullpen. Wow, catch your breath if you're an Ole Miss fan. With the way last night ended, I'm not sure how much confidence Rebel Nation had coming into the day, assuming they would face Burnham again, who went the distance on just 77 pitches. 1-2 count to Yamas. Still nobody out, and a 2-run lead in the first for Ole Miss. Burnham gets a strikeout of Yamas, one away. And we welcome those of you joining us on ESPN. Game 3 from Fayetteville, winner to the World Series for the first time in program history. Matt Schumacher and the Hall of Famer Kenzie Fowler with you. On a chopper to shortstop. Going to be a tough play, and Rijo cannot get it. Lexi Brady is aboard as Aliyah Benford moves up to third.
Well, this is the best fielding team in the NCAA, and this ball, Talia Rijo, she'll tell you I should have this. Yes, has to come get it, but just a little bit of a step short, and especially after Peyton Burnham rather, struck out the freshman and Percy Yamas, have a little bit of momentum. You allow Lexi Brady to get to first base. Quick timeout here for Arkansas.
Well, if you are just joining us, you missed out on some early fireworks. A leadoff walk by Jaden Pone, then a 2-run bomb by Lair Boutte off of Peyton Burnham, who was sensational last night. Went the distance in a complete game shutout, striking out 7. And until this inning, Kenzie Fowler had not allowed a run in 16 innings in the NCAA tournament.
I really feel like she was a little overamped the first 2 batters of this game. Had a leadoff walk, balls were a little bit up, not around the zone, and then the home run to Boutte.
Time called behind home by Kennedy Miller. Runners at the corners, 1 down for Mackenzie Pickens. Series split at 1 apiece. And the winner of each of the first 2 games was the team who scored first. Ole Miss relishing the opportunity to be the road team, to come to the plate with their bats, particularly with how last night ended. Peyton Burnham set down 14 in a row to close out Ole Miss last night after the Rebs scored 9 runs on day 1 against Arkansas. And even on the foul balls, Kenzie, it seems like Ole Miss is squaring up Burnham way better today than they did last night.
Yeah, you can see the adjustments pitch to pitch on that rise ball. Burnham had the right-handed hitters really fooled. He's going in tight, jamming them up and in. I still think it's the right start. Starting Peyton Burnham, the freshman, was the right move for Courtney Deifel. It's just the hardest 2 innings in our game and at this stage are the first inning and the 7th inning.
Pickens goes down swinging. Second strikeout of the inning for Burnham, and 2 away.
That's the pitch that Burnham has to start using and pulling a little bit more. She didn't have to use this changeup a bunch yesterday because the rise was just rising. It was doing its thing. And when you have a pitch that was cooking the way it was, you don't really need to show the rest of your arsenal. So you have a pitch that's saved. I'd like to see her start to pull that a little bit more.
2 down for Ashton Lansdell. What a story she has become at the Division I softball level, a first-year transfer from Florida International. Started playing softball for the first time in her life 3 years ago. Grew up playing baseball, played all throughout high school, and began her collegiate journey as a junior college baseball player. 1-1 runner goes. Miller induces Benford into a rundown. Did she tag her? No! Benford under the tag. Safely at home. And for now, a 3-run lead for Ole Miss. And I believe Courtney Deifel will challenge the call.
Wow, Ole Miss being very aggressive with 2 outs. Aliyah Benford could have easily just stayed at third base.
Ruling on the field is safe at home plate. Arkansas is challenging that ruling. The play is under review.
Our home plate umpire, Jim Bertuzzi, I thought had a good look at it when watching it live. Of course, we will see as many replays as possible as this goes to Pittsburgh.
So you see the fake there, and it fakes out Benford, but this could be by design. She has good speed, going head first, and she is safe. And the reason I was a little, curious why Courtney Deifel went to the challenge, because you could tell right away Kennedy Miller had no reaction. So you got to read that from your defender behind the plate. She is right there. She knows if she tags Benford or not. And these challenges are so precious. So to use one and maybe waste it here in the first, definitely don't want to do that, but her reaction just did not have one. If she felt a tag, you would have seen her turn to the dugout right away.
Is that not the closest of calls on a rundown resulting in a run? If she actually missed the shoulder of Benford, it was by a hair. And you've been saying all this time that you felt like she is safe. Are you seeing anything here that would make you think otherwise?
Nothing to overturn for me. This is the angle right here. And she was up the line as well. Oh my goodness, an inch. Safe. Wow.
And what a huge call on the field too, calling her safe.
I just think it's so important to really communicate with your players on defense. Did you tag her? Did you feel it? And have your team be honest about it. No, I didn't. Let's save a challenge, because film don't lie.
Ole Miss last night against Peyton Burnham had 0 runs on 3 hits. Already in this inning, 3 runs on 3 hits, plus the base running, which this team became known for during the SEC. Top 5 in stolen bases, and with their athleticism created havoc in this conference, including taking 2 of 3 from Courtney Deifel's Razorbacks in the opening weekend of SEC play.
The longer this takes, I always think that it errors on the side of the call standing, because you're looking and looking, trying to find something, and I do not see it. It's so close, though.
And a long review here. Burnham has just been hanging out behind the circle. Here comes Chelsea Clark.
The call is upheld. The runner is safe. That is Arkansas's first challenge.
So Courtney Deifel will have one more challenge. Meanwhile, Ole Miss with a 3-run lead, and during all of that, Lexi Brady moved up to third base. So a 1-2 count with a runner 60 feet away for Ashton Lansdell. She has already homered in this Super Regional. Has 2 bombs in the NCAA tournament. And the runner comes home and is safe at the plate as Miller goes down. The aggression of Hottie Toddy to start, applying pressure to the Razorback defense. And now the question becomes, is your 2-year starting catcher okay?
This is just a delay steal from Lexi Brady, who is a catcher herself. And you really hope Kennedy Miller is all right. Took quite the hit.
Now you could hear a pin drop in Bogle Park right now. This has been a shocking start to the first inning, and now everyone waiting on bated breath, hoping that their starting catcher Kennedy Miller, who's celebrating a birthday today, can remain in this game.
I mean, she was just so caught off guard. And so she was out of position.
A freshman All-American last season being helped to her feet here. Has been so instrumental handling this pitching staff this year, in the words of her head coach, Courtney Deifel, who herself was a pitcher and a catcher.
So she has to come out of her squat because she wasn't ready. The ball goes wide. Lexi Brady's coming in head first.
It looks to me like she's trying to see if she can walk this off and stay in the game.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure she's going to, as Kaylee Wyckoff, who has played every position on the infield in her career, is coming in from right field, potentially to put on catcher's gear. And now Arkansas will make a change at catcher with a 3-2 count and 2 down in the first inning, and already a 4-run lead for Ole Miss. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Fayetteville, where Kaylee Wyckoff has come in from right field to replace Kennedy Miller behind the plate. And out in right field, Courtney Day will switch from DP to outfield. And if you are just joining us for this series, Arkansas has been through the ringer. They were without Peyton Burnham on Friday. She was dealing with food poisoning. Robyn Herron, their other ace, only lasted 2 innings, also dealing with food poisoning. And now, in the decisive game 3, Kenzie Fowler, they have to rebound down 4, potentially without their 2-year starter behind the plate in Kennedy Miller.
Yeah, that's some big adversity to overcome. And then meanwhile, Ole Miss taking advantage, earning some runs. How about 2 delay steals in the first inning? You just do not see that.
Lansdale goes down on strikes. 3 Ks in the inning for Burnham, but the damage was done by Ole Miss. Starting with a 2-run bomb by Lair Boutte to get the party started.
Lair Boutte, she has been to the Women's College World Series before. The transfer from Tennessee, big bomb in the first.
Welcome back to Fayetteville, Arkansas, where for the 4th consecutive game, Brianna Lopez will get the start. The second-year transfer from the University of Hawaii, pitching in her first ever Super Regional.
And this is who has gotten Ole Miss to this point. Coach Traxel loves how calm she is, so I think that's why Ole Miss loves to have her start. You see the off speed that she'll throw, mid-60s. You also see a lot of curveballs from the lefty.
She will take on this starting lineup for Arkansas, brought to you by Capital One. Kennedy Miller, for now, will be slotted as the DP in the 9 spot. We will keep an eye on that as this game unfolds. Of course, she was just replaced behind the plate by Kaylee Wyckoff after an apparent lower body injury. Meanwhile, Reagan Johnson will lead it off for the Razorbacks, down 4 in the bottom of the first. And a strike pegged by Lopez. Backhanded it short. DeLeon from her knees cannot get it in time. Yamas pulled off the bag, and Johnson safe at first.
Well, whether this call stands or we see a challenge, this is one heck of an effort from DeLeon at short, goes to her knees, and Yamas just can't find the base. Not sure what the issue there was with the freshman at first. Reagan Johnson has so much speed.
And for the second time in this inning, our umpiring crew of Don Brown, Chelsea Clark, Brett Higgins, and Jim Bertuzzi circling up in the middle of the
ruling
infield.
On the field is safe at first base. Ole Miss is challenging that ruling. The play is under review.
And we will have our second challenge of the first inning. This time from Jamie Traxel.
Tells you what's on the line, doesn't it?
No doubt.
Every out matters. Mackenzie Pickens right in the way of that angle. Had 3 infielders shifted over to left side of the infield because of Reagan Johnson and her speed, and she's a slap hitter, trying to do their best to put themselves in positioning to get her out. Oh, she might have gotten it back on the bag in time.
Looked by that angle
Yeah.
like her foot was lifted,
Right
but by the time Johnson got there,
Wow.
question is there enough to overturn the call definitively?
I would say this would be overturned. And Ole Miss, the coaching staff, they're right there. So they're seeing this happen. Quick conversation about whether you use a challenge and burn it in a situation like this.
For Arkansas, just looking for any kind of momentum to flip this thing a little bit here in the bottom of the first after giving up 4 runs, seeing a potential injury to starting catcher Kennedy Miller, and the way those runs were scored. Stealing home twice, a 2-run homer off a pitcher that had gone 16 scoreless in the NCAA tournament until now. Here is Chelsea Clark.
The call on the field has been changed. The runner is out. That is Ole Miss's first challenge.
So a successful challenge by Jamie Traxel. Percy Yamas, glad to see it go her way. 1 down in the first.
Well, we talked to Jamie Traxel back on Thursday about the importance of the 2 hitters that hit in front of Bree Ellis. And anytime that you can get those batters out, we've seen Ole Miss pitch to Bree Ellis this weekend because they've been able to take care of the top of the lineup for the most part. A huge first out defensively.
For a team that has given up some free passes in this Super Regional. 3 errors, plus the 13 walks and 2 hit by pitches. Yesterday, Arkansas able to take advantage of that. Scored a couple of runs in the first inning without the ball even leaving the infield.
And I think that's why
3 walks by Lopez.
I think that's why Coach Traxel gave her the start. It wasn't pretty, but Arkansas didn't really ever have Bree Lopez's number. The way that Arkansas was able to score their runs was kind of on Bree Lopez. It was the walks, and then it was a couple of infield singles like we're talking about. So as a pitcher, you're always looking at that in the scouting report, and you're watching film, talking with your coaches. Did they hit my best stuff? And if the answer is no, well, how do I fix it?
Strike one to Reagan Kramer, who has reached base in 16 consecutive games, including a walk in 6 straight. How about 7 in a row for the 2-hitter? And now a runner aboard for the most dangerous power hitter in the country this year, the SEC Player of the Year, Bree Ellis. Bree Ellis singled off Lopez last night, her first base knock of the NCAA tournament. Now 1 for 11 with 8 walks.
Look at where the defense is for Ole Miss. Percy Amos is nowhere near first base.
Ellis has had to remain so patient in the postseason, adapting to teams pitching around her and then abruptly changing the game plan and attacking her at times, as we've seen Lopez do throughout the Super Regional. Sitting on 26 home runs, one shy of standing alone atop the single season SEC home run chart. The 2-1. Outside, ball 3.
Lopez just really working the outside corner to Ellis. Seeing a couple of backdoor curves, changeup.
Will she get something to hit here on the 3-1 count? No, ball 4. Back-to-back one-out walks drawn by the Razorbacks. Exactly the way yesterday's first inning unfolded for Arkansas. A quick out and then 2 walks drawn by Kramer and Ellis. They went on to plate 2 in that inning. As the cleanup hitter Courtney Deifel looks at strike 1. Courtney Deifel having an excellent NCAA tournament and her return to the sport. Spent 4 years at the University of Texas, helped the Longhorns to a World Series in 2022, ironically beating Arkansas on this field in the Super Regional. Took last year off after a brief stint at Ole Miss that did not include playing in any games. Recovered from an injury. Joined Arkansas in the middle of the year and has been a tremendous addition. And is ahead in the count 3-1.
Well, Arkansas is doing exactly what they need to do offensively, falling down 4-0 in the first. You don't want to go out offensively, be over-aggressive. They are making Bree Lopez throw strikes, taking so many pitches.
Day draws a walk to load the bases with 1 down in the first.
You have to feel that as a pitcher. If you start to see the batters not swinging, you've got to attack the strike zone. Sometimes it's very easy to overthink that. In the moment, you know what to do. Sometimes that mental piece just will get the best of you physically. You could see pitching coach Nancy Evans ask Lexi Brady right there, where are those missing? There were a couple pitches that I thought could be called strikes, but then Bree Lopez kind of followed up those close borderline balls with balls that were more out of the zone.
Well, the tying run will come to the plate now in the first inning in the form of Kaylee Wyckoff. whose NCAA tournament has been nothing short of spectacular, including a home run off Lopez on Friday afternoon.
And she's not really a home run hitter. She's more of a gap-to-gap, put the barrel to the ball type of hitter. But you have to feel good about that, knowing that that is something that you've already done this weekend. And it's also in the mind of Lopez in the circle, and that's why you see the timeout, get everybody on the same page. But what a gift here for Arkansas. This was the dream start for Ole Miss, and now this is the dream opportunity for a response for the Razorbacks.
Wyckoff has 10 runs batted in during the NCAA tournament. First pitch from Lopez is a strike after the visit to the rubber by Nancy Evans. 3 consecutive one-out walks issued by Lopez in the first. And ahead of the count 0-2. Wyckoff goes down on strikes. And the second out of the inning for Lopez. And we welcome those of you joining us on ESPN2 to Bogle Park for Game 3 in Fayetteville, Arkansas. After watching UCLA clinch a spot at OKC. Matt Schumacher and the Arizona Hall of Famer Kenzie Fowler with you. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the bottom of the first for Ella McDowell and Arkansas. And the Hogs have already been up against some adversity in this game, giving up 4 runs in the top of the first and an injury to their starting catcher, Kennedy Miller. As of now, Miller is still slotted in the starting lineup as the DP. We will continue to update you on that as this game unfolds. Arkansas loaded the bases in the bottom half of the first on 3 consecutive one-out walks issued by Brianna Lopez, who's making her 3rd consecutive start of the Super.
Arkansas, this has been a problem this weekend with bases loaded. They have not been able to capitalize yet.
Reagan Kramer at third base, Bree Ellis at second, Courtney Day over at first, and the tying run at the plate in the freshman Ella McDowell. 3-1 count from Lopez. And McDowell draws a walk to drive in the first run of the game for the Hogs.
The strike zone is clearly tied on the outside part of the plate for Lopez, so credit Arkansas. If you're seeing that zone, don't swing. Put the pressure and keep the pressure on her. Falling down 4, you need a big inning to get back in this.
And now the tying run aboard in the first inning for Aliyah Benford. Benford went 9 for 10, the hottest of hot in the regional last week here in Fayetteville. So far in the Supers, though, just 1 for 7 with a single. And quickly down 0-2.
The 2 outs in this inning for Bree Lopez she's been able to get out the lefties. Reagan Johnson, Kaylee Wyckoff struck her out, so better opportunity here, lefty on lefty matchup.
Riho, foul territory, tracking it is Jaden Pone and makes the catch against the wall. So Arkansas leaves the bases loaded, but they plate 1. It's a 3-run Ole Miss lead after 1 in Fayetteville. We are playing a decisive Game 3, and if you are just joining us on ESPN2, Ole Miss plating 4 runs in the top half of the first thanks to a 2-run homer by Lair Boutte, and then a couple of steals of home plate, shockingly, catching all off guard. And now a change in the circle in the second inning. Robyn Herron comes in for the freshman Peyton Burnham.
Yeah, this is the ace of the staff. The lefty coming in after the righty. Throws a little bit harder, has that up spin. It's going to cut differently. Spins a curve as well. And her changeup is her best pitch. We saw Robyn Herron get the start back on Friday. Of course, it's well documented now she was not feeling well, and her changeup just was not a factor. So for her, 2 days removed from that, hopefully better start for her here, getting a clean second inning.
Well, good news for her. She will have Kennedy Miller back behind home plate after she exited the game with 2 outs in the first due to an apparent lower body issue. As this is sent in the air down the right field line, foul territory, diving catch made by Courtney Deifel.
Wow. That was impressive. She had to go a very long way to get this. Drifting. Bree Ellis is right there. Wyckoff is right behind her and holds on to it. That's the most impressive thing because she hit the ground hard.
9-hitter is up. It's Malvin in from third. McDowell 2 down.
This is that Arkansas defense,
which was tested often in the first inning. Good response here from the Hogs, who have led the country entering the weekend in fielding percentage. Back to the top of the order for Jaden Pone. Pone, one of 3 returning field position starters for Ole Miss this year. Few expected the Rebels to produce the season they have, over 40 wins, despite 16 newcomers, including 8 freshmen. And yet here they are, knocking on the door of a trip to the Women's College World Series for the first time in program history.
Yeah, in the preseason SEC poll, they were voted second to last. Only above South Carolina. So I think for both of those programs, one of those things where it's kind of who gets the last laugh on that.
South Carolina made it to within 1 game of the World Series, falling today to UCLA. Pone looks at strike 2. And now Ole Miss, one of just 2 unseeded teams left in the tournament. The other, Georgia, in a decisive game 3 today in Gainesville. Payoff pitch from Herron. She has been the ace this year for Arkansas. And gets a strikeout at Pone. 1, 2, 3.
Well, the ace enters the game, and it's a quick 3 up, 3 down for Robyn Herron, spinning that curveball, catching the low part of the strike zone.
Already 6 tickets punched to the Women's College World Series, including 3 by SEC teams. And still 4 teams from the Southeastern Conference alive in the tournament. The 2 in Gainesville, Florida and Georgia, and the 2 here in an all-SEC Super Regional between Ole Miss and Arkansas. Neither have ever been to the World Series. Bottom of the second inning. Carly Davison leads it off for the Hogs, down 3. Davison, the first-year transfer from Utah, 4 for 6 in the Super Regional with a double, a home run, and an RBI. That home run came in game 1 off Miley Wachenio. And what kind of Houdini act did we see Brianna Lopez pull off in the first inning? Bases loaded, less than 2 outs, no hits, and only 1 run.
Oh, she's probably stressing out her head coach and pitching coach. I can't imagine. It seems like she does this every game. Walks the bases loaded, limited damage, only 1 run to a very potent offense for Arkansas, and then dances out of it.
That's a great point, because while Arkansas hasn't swung the bats as well in this Super Regional as they have this year, this is still a team that has been top 10 in the nation in scoring pretty much all season. Full count to Davison.
Yeah, so you have the bases loaded, you score 1 run with no hits. It's kind of what we saw yesterday as well.
Davison popped up right side. Yama evades contact and makes the catch, 1 away. And now Kennedy Miller, who briefly exited the game in the first inning with some discomfort in her lower body after a collision at home plate, re-entered behind the plate and now comes to the plate for the first time tonight.
Yeah, glad to see that she's all right. Nothing's wrapped up. She's a catcher. Catchers are tough.
And she has been a tough out in the NCAA tournament. Last night snapped a 4-game hit streak. But during this NCAA tournament, she's driven in 5 runs, batting in the bottom of the order. This is sent up the middle, and a 1-out single by Miller.
Little birthday single for the birthday girl. Looks like she's running a little gingerly. I'm a little surprised. I'm gonna leave her in.
There's your happy birthday sign out on the berm. Fans lining up for hours in the rain before first pitch today in Fayetteville. And Reagan Johnson whiffs badly at the off speed. Second time through the order here for Arkansas. What would you like to see differently? They had all those walks in the first inning, but no hits.
Yeah, you've got to sit on a speed. You cannot sit change up early in the count.
How about that from Johnson? Sneaking it past Lansdell at third base.
And that's what's so great about our sport is that you can look like you're completely fooled on one pitch and then adjust to the next. So Lopez gives her that changeup and then follows it up with a curveball. And this is exactly what you have to do. Left-handed hitter going up against a left-handed pitcher. You got to see it so deep, especially as a slapper. Those slap hitters, they want to run to first base as quickly as they can, but Reagan Johnson did a really nice job seeing that curveball deep.
We may see a pitching change here for Ole Miss as Aliyah Benford comes out of the dugout and walks towards the circle. And she will get the ball from Brianna Lopez. A break in the action with the tying run coming to the plate in the form of Reagan Kramer. We'll be right back from Bogle Park. Well, Aliyah Benford, what can't she do? Homer, pitch, whatever you need. She is getting it done for Ole Miss this postseason.
One of the two-way stars in the NCAA tournament. Has been just such a fun veteran experienced player for Jamie Traxel coming over from Baylor. And is a completely different look than Bri Lopez, her fellow senior, who's lefty with the curve. Benford is going to be a righty with a drop. Also has an elite changeup to counter that drop ball, but loves to roll ground ball outs.
Comes in for Brianna Lopez. Kramer, first pitch swing, popped up left side. Lansdell puts it away, 2 down. Now, Bree Lopez exits after an inning and a third, 4 walks in the first inning. Only allowed 1 earned run in that first inning, despite having the bases loaded with less than 2 outs. The runners on board here for Bree Ellis at the plate are, of course, Lopez's. Bree Ellis has gone 20 at-bats without a home run, well above her season average of 1 home run per every 5 at-bats. Should she get on, Courtney Day bats behind her in the cleanup spot. A dangerous bat in her own right with home run power. 2-0.
We saw it in the highlight package when Benford came in. Aliyah Benford did strike out Bree Ellis back on Friday. Caught her looking on a change. Falling behind here 3-0 though.
Joining a pretty short list of Division I pitchers to strike out Bree Ellis this year. Just 10 all season, 2 of them on this Ole Miss pitching staff. Hitters count to Ellis. And she draws a walk to load the bases. Back-to-back innings with the bases loaded for the Hogs. Courtney Day, 3 for 5 in the Super with 5 walks. Had the only extra base hit of the game last night in a 4-run win for Arkansas.
Benford goes back-to-back changeups. First one 4 strikes. Second one moves it more down in the zone. Gets the swing and miss. Foul tip there from Courtney Day.
What are you coming back with here?
I'm going to go drop, but make sure it's expanding the zone. If Courtney Day does run into it, it's maybe off the end of the bat.
0-2.
3 in a row.
Just got a piece.
3 changeups in a row. And a good changeup is a separator as a pitcher. It makes your next pitch look that much harder when you do choose to go to that drop ball or go to that rise ball. You throw 65 to a hitter, the reaction time is looking like 68 now.
0-2 is through the right side. 1 run is in. Here comes another. It's a 1-run game in Fayetteville.
And this is the hit that Arkansas has been missing. I know they won yesterday, but man, it's a little bit unconventional. Ole Miss allowed them to get into the game, and this is it. This is an 0-2 pitch that is way too sweet. 3 changeups in a row. Benford does go to the drop, but that is right down the heart of the plate. And you have a hitter in Courtney Day who is so used to that situation. She knows she is going to get pitches hitting behind Bree Ellis, and she got a big one there.
Kaylee Wyckoff comes up swinging. Well, all year, Courtney Deifel has said of her team that they're built different, gritty, tough, embracing adversity throughout the course of the season, including starting SEC play 1-5. But battled back to finish in the top 5 in SEC play. And they too, like Ole Miss, are 1 win away from their first ever trip to the Women's College World Series. Wyckoff left side. Will it get through? Yes! Tie game at Bogle Park.
After Bree Ellis scored right there, she turned to the crowd and said, "Get loud." This is a great piece from Wyckoff, and this is what kind of hitter she is. She just has the ability to find balls that are out of the strike zone, and there's nothing Angelina De Leon can do. She's way too deep in the hole. Bree Ellis, look at her right here. She turns to the crowd. Keep it up, stay on your feet, keep the gas on.
Bree Ellis playing to keep her career alive. Number 2 pick in the Athletes Unlimited draft. She will continue playing after this season is over, but not at the collegiate level. Has so enjoyed her 2 years here in Fayetteville, and has echoed the sentiments of her head coach that there's something special about the Hogs this year. 2-0 count to the freshman Ella McDowell. Benford trying to get out of the second inning with a tie game. 2 on, 2 out. And a 3-1 count to McDowell. McDowell dropped her bat thinking that was ball 4 instead of full count.
Drop on the outside part of the plate. Maybe a little bit out, but too close to take the hitter's count right there.
McDowell comes back to De Leon, bobbled it short. Bases loaded.
That just took a wicked hop on a sure-handed shortstop. Senior Angelina De Leon just coming up. Credit McDowell, hit that ball hard. You can tell right now Arkansas really zoned into the bottom half of the zone, knowing that Aliyah Benford is a drop ball pitcher. Just taking what she's given them. For that, an error by De Leon.
The 4th of the weekend by the Ole Miss defense. And now the 9th hitter of the inning will come to the plate for Arkansas with the bases loaded.
Yeah, this is a much different inning for the Razorbacks. 4 hits here in the second, didn't have 1 in the first. They were able to get 1 run out of that bases loaded situation. So now things are rolling completely different.
Chenio getting loose in the bullpen. Ole Miss has used all 3 on their staff in 1 game already this Super Regional. What will be in store for it again here in Game 3. Riho looks at ball 1. This is the 3rd Super Regional hosted by Arkansas in the last 5 years. They came up short in their previous 2, including losing to an unseeded Texas team in 2022. Fielded at first, Yamas makes the play. Arkansas came into this Super determined to go down swinging. They have tied the game with 3 runs in the second. We got a ball game in Game 3. A lot of Game 3s this weekend. How good was Nebraska, Tennessee? We got Pickens versus Ball 3 days in a row. UCLA down to their final out yesterday, forced Game 3. They came back, won it against South Carolina today. Meanwhile, Georgia and Florida in a Game 3 was delayed. That's about to resume in about 5 minutes over on ESPNU. Florida leading 1-0 in the fourth. Meanwhile here, another Game 3. Winner advances to their first Women's College World Series in program history. It's a place that Kenzie Fowler has pitched. What does it mean to the players and to a program to get there, Kenzie?
Well, it's what you dream of. Number one, when you start playing softball when you're 5, 6 years old, but then it's what you work for every single day. You show up to campus sometimes in July or August. You are working for OKC. I mean, this matchup, though, it's hitting a little bit different just in terms of the history that neither one of these programs have been there. So that just is a whole nother layer. You are playing for your school, you're playing for your community, you're playing for your city. And then you're going to be legends. Whichever one of these teams can get out of this, it's a legendary team. The first.
Lair Boutte at the plate to lead off the third is the only Ole Miss Rebel who has played in a World Series. She did so a couple of years ago while at the University of Tennessee. And she told us when we had a chance to sit down with her before Supers kicked off here in Fayetteville that she's been going around to everybody on the roster leading up to the Super Regional saying, guys, it's so fun. We have to get to Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
I need to go back with this team.
Yeah, she had a little extra excitement in her voice when she was talking about OKC. And it was fun because we were talking to her and Taylor Malvin, and I think it was you who asked the question, like, hey, one of these teams is going to Oklahoma City for the first time, and Lair cuts you off, and she goes, it's going to be us.
Without hesitation. 3-2. Takes a walk to lead off the third. Robyn Herron came in last inning to relieve Peyton Burnham. Set down the side in order, including a strikeout. First hitter aboard against her tonight for Ole Miss. And now Aliyah Benford comes to the plate with a runner on and nobody out. Benford has been in this position before. In fact, a year ago was in a Game 3 in Gainesville against Florida while playing for the Baylor Bears. And decided during the fall semester to jump in the portal while the window was open, made her way to Ole Miss for her 6th and final season. What a career for Aliyah Benford.
This Ole Miss roster, 16 newcomers. 8 of them have been transfers.
Well, if you count the assistant coaches, you're getting up to 18, 20 new faces in this program. Courtney Deifel out of the dugout for Arkansas. That's been what's one thing that I think has been so impressive about what Jamie Traxel and her staff have done this year. Of course, Jamie's no stranger to putting together programs with new faces. Did it at North Dakota, did it at Iowa State, did it at Minnesota, helping the Gophers reach the Women's College World Series in 2019. She likes it.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird dynamic because she said we are old, but we are also young at the same time, and felt like she's needed that. Felt like the seniors needed the freshmen and the freshmen needed the seniors. And there was a lot of uncertainty about all those pieces and the roster moves, but it settled as the season progressed.
2-2 to Benford.
So not only are you settling the roster pieces, but to your point with the new coaches, you're also learning their hitting styles, their pitching styles. That's a lot of new information.
Well, this offense has certainly thrived with the newness at the top from a coaching standpoint. Having one of the best seasons in program history under Aaron Earlywine and Bobby Buchanan. Check swing from Benford, the appeal to first. She did not go, according to Brett Higgins.
Herron working that change low in the zone. It's a good hold there from Benford. You see her legs completely gone, but the hands stay back.
Goes down on strikes. One down in the third, and the second strikeout for Herron.
So you go from low and slow to the high heat, working that rise. It also has a little bit of cut to it, almost like a backdoor curve that continues to go up through the zone. Benford's a big swinger.
Percy-Yamas, fly ball on the left. Kramer is there, 2 outs. Well, as you probably have heard by now, at least a dozen times, the Women's College World Series returns to OKC. Action begins 12 Eastern on ESPN. For more information on the 2025 Women's College World Series, you can go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Two outs for Lexi Brady, who in the first inning created havoc. Beat out an infield single, then stole home to give the Rebels a 4-0 lead. Popped up to Bree Ellis in foul territory. And another smooth inning for Robyn Herron. Still a hitless relief appearance through 2. Courtney Deifel era has been a successful one here in Fayetteville. Now 10 seasons, 5 of those reaching the 40-win mark, 2 SEC regular season titles, and a tournament crown to boot. 8 straight trips to the NCAA tournament, and all 4 super regional appearances in program history have come under Courtney Deifel. And now, Kenzie Fowler, as we've talked about throughout the course of the weekend, the next step for this program is a trip to OKC.
It's no secret that the last 4 years they have been upset at home, have been the host, whether it's regionals or super regionals, have been the top seed. And, you know, it's a lot of pressure. It really is. And it's so hard to get to Oklahoma City. I know a team like Oklahoma makes it look very easy. It is not that easy. I can tell you from experience, it's incredibly hard to get to Oklahoma City, and it's incredibly hard to be the first team to do it. They have done everything on the resume. The SEC regular season, check. SEC tournament, check. Next on that list is punching their ticket.
Strike one to Carly Davison. I think what you just said is such an important aspect of it, which is to be the first to do it. Because until that first time happens, that question always looms. Can it be done here? And certainly that has been part of the narrative over the last 4 years, losing at home, be it in the regional or the super.
I think it's no doubt that Arkansas is the best team, especially in the last 5-7 years, the best team that has not made it to Oklahoma City. And every single year, you look at this span, they were a pick, they were a favorite. They were slotted in. This is the year. This is the year. Could this be the year?
Excuse me, swing. Lansdale fields and fires one away. To your point, until this season when Arkansas finished 5th, they were the only program in the SEC to finish top 4 in the regular season in 4 consecutive years. Of course, all 4 of those seasons ended early in the mind of Courtney Deifel and her team, and it led to a big mindset shift in the program during the offseason. Deep self-reflection after failing to advance out of the regional last year. And what has been birthed out of that is a program that has been battle-tested and a program that has risen to the occasion time and again this season. Popped up middle infield, Yamas is there, 2 down, and we'll flip the lineup back over to Reagan Johnson.
Well, Courtney Deifel said that her and her coaching staff have coached this team a little bit harder than maybe she has in other teams in years past. She said it's a very mature group, only 4 seniors, but a lot of the players have been like, Coach, give me some criticism. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, and it's not always the case. And so Courtney Deifel and longtime assistant coach Matt Michael, DJ Gasso, Danielle Gibson said they've allowed themselves as coaches to be a little harder on this team.
One-0 count to Reagan Johnson. You mentioned DJ Gasso. He's now in his second program. Of course, the son of the great Patty Gasso, whose Sooners have made 9 straight trips to Oklahoma City. He has been a big piece to Arkansas's offensive explosion, particularly this year, and with the hitter at the plate now in Reagan Johnson, who is quickly becoming one of the greatest hitters in program history. Weekly over to the right side, quickly flipped to first by Boutte. And now will there be a challenge? It doesn't look like it. We end the third tied at 4. Ole Miss head coach Jamie Traxel will join us on the other side of the break. Tied at 4 as we start the fourth, joined by Jamie Traxel. Coach, you just told us off air, finally a 1-2-3 inning. How big was that for you guys after the chaos over the first 2 innings?
Yeah, a lot of traffic, which makes it kind of feel fast. We minimized some damage in that first inning, and then obviously they put a couple of tough balls in play. I was proud of the defense for settling down and being able to get that out. And then again, like it's a dogfight, and we know it's gonna be hard. We know it's not ending 4-4 either. Might go back and forth, but I like our fight. I like our composure. We talk about mission-focused responses, and I like what I'm hearing in there.
Yeah, new pitcher in the circle for Arkansas. I saw you talking to your team in the huddle, just maybe adjustments or the message in the dugout right now.
Yeah, that's Bobby and Aaron for the scouting report, but we had a good clean inning right there, so to build off of that, again, I like the things that they were saying to each other. I didn't have to say much in that last one.
Coach, appreciate your time and good luck.
Thank you, guys. Hotty toddy.
Well, that's a great question, Kenzie, because Robyn Herron, since entering the game, has not allowed a hit, and the only base runner to reach was Lair Boutte, who drew a leadoff walk in the second inning. Now Mackenzie Pickens digs in for the Rebels and looks at a strike. Pickens up the middle, off the leg of Herron. No play for the shortstop, Rijo. There's your first hit against Herron.
Yeah, see the high five there from Coach Traxel at first. This is the backdoor curve that Pickens just sits on. Right back up the middle. You hope that doesn't do too much damage to Robyn Herron. You saw her thumbs up there. Seems to be all right.
Hey, after lasting 2 innings on Friday dealing with food poisoning, you're going to have to wheel her out of this game.
True.
Runner aboard for Ashton Lansdell. Corner infield drawn in. Good pick by Kennedy Miller, keeping Mackenzie Pickens at first base. Just 4 years ago, Ashton Lansdell became the first female ever to play baseball at the junior college level. And 3 seasons later, has 2 home runs in the NCAA tournament of Division I college softball. What an athlete.
He's played with USA Baseball and has been a part of that 8 transfer class that's new to Ole Miss this season.
I cannot imagine going from seeing overhand pitching your entire life to underhand with movement in the high 60s, even high 70s if you're playing somebody like Carlin Pickens.
Yeah, the reaction time is the biggest difference for me. Going from 40 feet. By the time the pitcher strides out, you're looking at high 30s.
Draws a walk, 2 on and nobody out for Angelina DeLeon. Meanwhile, tomorrow a Memorial Day tradition continues. The NCAA Division I Men's Lacrosse National Championship game on ESPN. Cornell looking for its first title since 1977 against the Maryland Terps, seeking their second national championship in 4 years. DeLeon pops up the bunt and some physicality, friendly fire, but Bree Ellis hangs on to it after colliding with the freshman Ella McDowell in from third.
It's just taller player wins here. Bree Ellis has a couple of inches on the freshman McDowell at third. They're smiling about it now. But an unproductive out there for Ole Miss, trying to sacrifice over 60 feet.
Taylor Roman will pinch hit for Taylor Malvin in the 9 spot. Already has a hit in this Super Regional, and it came in game 1. Drove in 2 runs in a game that Ole Miss won by 2. Can she deliver with 2 on and 1 out in a tie game in the 4th?
She had one opportunity last weekend in Tucson for the regionals, had a pinch hit home run, and then to your point, delivered already this weekend. So in the NCAA tournament, it has been working for Taylor Roman in this pinch hit situation.
One to Roman. In the dirt, Miller just keeps it close enough to her to keep the runners at bay.
Pitch is so tough. Backdoor, low in the zone. Now you know she has that changeup in her arsenal as well. Can she pull that?
'40th pitch for Herron's relief appearance. Rolled to short. Riho to second, good. The flip to first, not in time. Ole Miss avoids the double play, and the go-ahead run in Pickens moves to third base. And now Taylor Malvin will come back in to run over at first. Lineup turns over for Jaden Pone. The former Big South Player of the Year at Longwood University a couple of seasons ago. Very under-recruited out of high school in the travel ball scene. Took the Big South by storm. Delivers into center field. It is caught by Johnson, and Ole Miss will drive in a run. It is a 1-run lead for the Rebels.
A little bit of everything here in this inning for Ole Miss. You get that leadoff runner on with the freshman and Pickens. The free pass follows that. And then the best hitter in the lineup, who has been a little quiet, Jaden Pone. She was doing it all during the SEC regular season. Takes Reagan Johnson back. Everybody moves up a base.
In the air to left, off the bat of Boutte. That will end the bid for Ole Miss in the fourth, but the damage is done and the Rebels regain the lead. We will chat with Arkansas head coach Courtney Deifel when we come back. Ole Miss with a 1-run lead after plating one in the fourth. As we welcome you back to Bogle Park, joined by Arkansas head coach Courtney Deifel. Coach, appreciate your time. What led into the decision to bring Robyn Herron into this game, and what have you liked from her so far?
Well, we just wanted to mix up the momentum a little bit. Obviously not an ideal start for us. And so just kind of wanted to mix things up. We trust both of them. And right now I love the spin. She's trusting her spin. She's dealing her defense, and we're fighting.
Offensively, in that second inning, looked like you guys were getting going. How do you continue that throughout the rest of the game?
Just stay really present. Stay really present in the box, know what we're hunting, put a good swing on it, take what they give us, and stay the course. We're going to fight to the very end.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you. We'll pick.
In that second inning, they plated 3 runs on 4 hits. And that was the inning in which they tied the game. Now Reagan Kramer comes to the plate and looks at a strike against Aliyah Benford. Both teams with brief starts from their starting pitchers. How long will their relief outings go? That is yet to be determined. How do you see this game unfolding over the next 2 to 3 innings?
I think we'll see Ole Miss use their entire bullpen because it's what they've done up to this point. So we still haven't seen the freshmen.
Kramer to second base, Pickens to first, one away.
Miley Wachenio. It has been an all hands on deck. Of course, Bree Lopez has been the one that's gotten the bulk of the innings, but has really been just a staff approach. And then I think it's Robyn Herron the rest of the way. She looked pretty good that last inning, spinning it really well.
If it weren't for that funky play at second base, she probably gets out of that inning without allowing a run.
Yep.
Bree Ellis comes to the plate here, 3rd time up tonight. 2 walks and a run scored. Has not gotten much to hit. That's the first swing she's taken here in game 3.
Yeah, she got some pitches in her last at-bat from Aliyah Benford. I know she walked, but there were some balls that were around the zone. Could have gone 50-50, ball or strike, in my opinion. That changeup right there, Ellis expanding the zone.
Well, the folks in Bogle Park would like to see her get something to barrel up. It's been quite a stretch for her without a home run, longer than we're certainly used to. 20 at-bats without a Bree bomb. Still sitting on 26, tied for the SEC single-season home run record. One swing could break it and tie this game in the 4th. 2-2.
I love that Benford is challenging here and has quality pitches. You know that, the scouting report, everyone's talking about her. You cannot let Bree Ellis beat you, but I love the competitiveness of the at-bat from Benford. Locate your spots, trust your movement.
The appeal to Brett Higgins. Ellis did not offer in a full count. This is grizzled vet against grizzled vet here.
Lay it off of the drop. Almost had it. Lexi Brady was asking. Good hold from Ellis. I'm expecting a changeup here.
2 seniors. Ellis backhanded at first by Yamas, and this time Benford wins the battle. 2 down in the 4th. Base is cleared for Courtney Day. Her 16 home runs, a career high, and what has been a career best season at the plate for the Texas transfer. Knows many on this Ole Miss roster fairly well, having spent some time in Oxford before deciding to retire briefly. Lansdell at third, slings it to first, and another 1-2-3 inning for Benford. She's retired 7 straight. 1 run lead after 4 in Fayetteville. There has been a lot of activity in this game. 4 runs in the first for Ole Miss, thanks in part to this 2-run bomb by Lara Boutte, trying to get back to Oklahoma City, where she once played for the Tennessee Lady Vols. Then a couple of innings later in the second, it was Arkansas plating 3 on 4 hits, had the bases loaded, and were able to take advantage, tying the game briefly before Ole Miss came back in the 4th, plating 1 to take a 1-run lead. And that is where it stands as we enter the latter innings of this decisive Game 3. Winner to the World Series for the first time in program history. Loser season ends tonight. And Aliyah Benford, a big cut for strike 1. Matt Schumacher, the 2-time All-American and Hall of Famer Kenzie Fowler with you, and Benford has shoved in her relief appearance, setting down 7 in a row, and now trying to help herself out of the plate.
Now the first inning was a little dicey on both sides, and I just feel like a Game 3 hostile environment, it's kind of going to go that way. It's so hard to get your heart rate down as the starting pitcher. You can practice for it all you want, put yourself in uncomfortable situations and train for it, but there's just nothing like the real feel of adrenaline. And it's kind of how the game went. First 2 innings, explosive offense and a couple of miscues, free passes, and then the game settles in.
Robyn Herron came in to relieve for Peyton Burnham at the start of the second inning and has been solid, allowing just 1 run through 3 innings of work. Gets a strikeout. Miller will complete it with the throw to first, and the 3rd K of the game for Robyn Herron.
So important to not only get the leadoff out, start this inning and keep it clean, but the 3-hole hitter in Aliyah Benford, we know what kind of power she has. Nice changeup from the junior.
Herron with 1 down will take on Percy Yamas. And what a season for Robyn Herron, who for the first time in her career took on an ace role as a junior. Replaced, did Arkansas, their ace and first-team All-SEC pitcher Morgan Leinstock, who graduated. And so Courtney Deifel went to Robyn Herron and said, "It's your ball this year."
Something that she has grown into for sure.
Line drive floated over the head of McDowell off the bat of Yamas. And the first base knock of Game 3 for Percy Yamas.
Good reacts there from the freshman. Just a little bit jammed, but she'll take it over the head of a jumping Ella Dowell at third. Not pretty, but at this point it's gritty. You take the celebration there. Gets good cheered on with her teammates, getting a pinch runner in.
Ryan Starr will pinch run for Yamas with Lexi Brady coming to the plate. This is the 4th time this season that Robyn Herron has faced this Ole Miss lineup. And it's been a bit of a mixed bag. The first time she faced them was as the ace for the first time in her career in the opening series of SEC play, and Ole Miss got after her a little bit. They ended up winning that game, scoring 9 runs, but she came back in game 3 and had a huge response, helping Arkansas salvage that series with a 20-3 victory.
Now you got to think about the mental side for both of these teams, especially the pitchers. Ball starts in the circle, and with so much familiarity, you know that the tape is out there. You've been scouted very well. And so you kind of have to get over that and just get out there and do it.
2-1 to Brady.
Robyn Herron was able to get really valuable experience her freshman year. And you talked about being kind of that number 2 arm a season ago, and slowly, year by year, has grown into the ace of the staff.
3-1, Star goes, no throw from Miller because it is ball 4. And now 2 on and 1 down for the freshman Mackenzie Pickens.
It's the 3rd walk from the junior.
Pickens has already singled off Herron tonight, 1 for 2, with a run scored back in the 4th. That run pushing Ole Miss ahead for the 2nd time in this game. Line drive into left field, down for a base hit. They will wave Star. The throw in is not in time. 2-run lead for Ole Miss. And as the ball gets away, both runners advance, an extra base.
I am so impressed by this freshman. I know Percy Yamas is the one with the record and she sits in the 4 hole, but Mackenzie Pickens is the other freshman in this lineup. This is a very senior-led team. There are 7 seniors in the starting lineup for Ole Miss. So to crack the lineup number 1 as a freshman is so hard to do, but she consistently delivers. Puts together great at-bats, the single in her last at-bat, 2 runners on here, and she just clutches up. Gets a curveball in, gets her barrel there, hits it hard. Puts her team up 1 more run. I think it's too late. I think the Rebs are already hot.
4th run batted into the tournament for Pickens, and we will see a pitching change. The original starter of game 3, Peyton Burnham, will come back into the circle for Arkansas. This is the dogfight of a game 3, season in the balance. And now Burnham tasked with the difficult opportunity of 2 in scoring position, inheriting just 1 out. And Ashton Lansdell expected to come to the plate here in the 5th.
Yeah, it's no secret that Peyton Burnham had a very rocky first inning. Ole Miss came out swinging. Coach Deifel makes the pitching change, goes to the ace, goes to the junior, and now back to the freshman.
Gave up a 2-run homer to Lair Boutte, 2nd batter she faced in the game, coming off a complete game shutout last night, allowing just 3 hits, none of them for extra bases. Ole Miss completely flipped the script on the freshman, who set down 14 in a row to end game 2's victory last night, forcing this game 3 on a Sunday night in Fayetteville. Lansdell to the plate with 2 on and 1 down. And Burnham calls time.
I like the idea. Could have been maybe a safety squeeze there. Ole Miss always looking to take that extra base. We've talked about their base running, a very fast team. They've already stolen home twice tonight.
Including Lexi Brady, who stands at third base. She stole home to make it a 4-0 lead in the first inning for Ole Miss. 0-2 is bounce foul. This is the Rebels offense that we have come to expect in the NCAA tournament. All gas, no brakes, scoring multiple runs in multiple innings. And that was the recipe in game one. Remember, they scored at least one run in each of the first 4 innings of that game, giving themselves enough of a cushion, Kenzie, to take the game one victory.
Yeah, so it's huge for the Rebels and for Coach Traxel if Ole Miss is able to score late in the games, because it's been the early innings for Ole Miss where they've been so good.
Burnham's 1-2 is hit a mile high but foul, tailing out of play. Lansdale has walked and struck out tonight. She was actually the last batter to face Burnham before she exited for Robyn Herron and goes down swinging. 4th strikeout of the night for Peyton Burnham. 2 down in the 5th.
And the second time that Ashton Lansdale has struck out on this changeup. It's so filthy from the freshman. Has a good drop ball. Will go upstairs with the rise and change speeds. Pretty much as simple as it gets.
Here is Angelina De Leon. Somebody who originally committed to Coach Traxel while she was the head coach at Minnesota, and then followed Jamie down to Oxford when she took the Ole Miss head coaching job. Delivers a base hit potentially. No, it's stopped at second base by Courtney Deifel. Davison keeps it a 2-run game in Fayetteville.
This is as good as it gets defensively. If this ball gets through, you're looking at maybe 2 more runs being scored. Carly Davison, the pick at first by Bree Ellis. Wow.
Two-run game in Fayetteville into the bottom of the 5th. Winner advances to the Women's College World Series in this all-SEC Super Regional Game 3 between Ole Miss and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Another packed crowd at Bogle Park. Over 3,000 on hand for this Sunday night tilt. And after that sensational play by Carly Davison, Arkansas still maintaining striking distance down 2. As Kaylee Wyckoff comes to the plate. And time called by the Ole Miss catcher Lexi Brady. Davison could come to the plate in this inning. She is due up 4th. Strike 2.
She's had a great weekend. Of course, defense, the highlights, but has been solid offensively as well.
Benford just missed. 2-2 count from the 6th-year senior. has set down 7 in a row. Wyckoff goes down on strikes. 8 straight retired for Aliyah Benford.
That's the first strikeout in relief for Aliyah Benford. That changeup, so good. So many pitchers this weekend have shown us their elite off-speed pitches, and you have to have it at this league. At this level, the hitter's too good.
Hers is devastating, and she'll throw it in any count.
What makes her so tough is that she already has hitters looking down in the zone because she's going to give you drop balls, and so it tunnels almost identically to her drop ball. You just have to try and identify if it's fast or slow. But she doesn't really ever go upstairs. Imagine if she had a rise ball.
Second appearance of this super. Bouncing ball foul, left of the bag at third off the bat of McDowell. Remember, it was Benford who not only homered in game 1 for Ole Miss, helping them jump out to the early lead, but then came in and closed the game. 1 2/3 in relief, no earned runs, 3 strikeouts. Upstairs to McDowell, ball 2. There is just something about Aliyah Benford that her teammates gravitate to. The looseness, the joy with which she plays, but also that competitive fire that you see both in the box and in the circle.
We were talking to Lair Boutte about Benford, and she was laughing about just her presence. Sometimes you'll see her laugh and turn to the teammates, and Lair Boutte was like, we don't know sometimes what is behind that laugh. She's just so stoic all the time. So when she does laugh, we're like, oh, what's coming next? It's going to be something fierce. And then also, she's just a veteran. So she has been in the postseason. She has pitched in the big games. You bring that on to a team that has a lot of new faces, a lot of transfers, big senior class, also a couple of freshmen that are in the starting lineup, and just someone to lead the way. It's always nice when you have extra seniors in the bullpen. Just kind of levels up your practice.
Riho to Yamas, and the third straight 1-2-3 inning for Aliyah Benford. She has set down 10 straight Arkansas hitters. Still alive in this NCAA tournament, including the second overall pick, Bree Ellis. Top 3 finalists for National Player of the Year. The only position player in that final 3. Alongside Jordy Ball and Nyjah Kennedy, who pitched Texas Tech into the NCAA Women's College World Series earlier this weekend. Bree Ellis hoping to extend her collegiate career with a win in game 3, but they trail by 2 as we start the top of the 6th in Fayetteville. Taylor Malvin flared into left, 1 down.
Yeah, think about all the game 3s that we've had this weekend in Supers. 5 game 3s, which matches the most that we've ever had. And then you think about a team like Texas Tech and Nyjah Kennedy, who wrapped things up on Friday, had their first game on Thursday. So here we all are sweating it out on Sunday.
Two outs for Lair Boutte. Peyton Burnham has set down all 4 batters she has faced after re-entering the game. When she last faced Lair Boutte, the Houston transfer took her yard with a 2-run shot to open the scoring for the Rebels in the first inning. 1-2 count. This was Lara Boutte's last at bat against Burnham.
So we just saw her try and drop a sneaky bunt. Wonder if that was on her own. Maybe that was a call from the coach, because this is what she did against Peyton Burnham.
Those were her first runs batted in of the NCAA tournament after she went 0 for 10 in the regional. But in the Super has come to life with 4 hits, including that home run. And as we've mentioned, a young lady who before has tasted the sweetness of making a trip to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Neither one of these teams' programs have been to OKC, but you have players like Lara Boutte for Ole Miss, Courtney Day, and Carly Davison for Arkansas who have been there with other programs.
1-2-3 inning for Peyton Burnham. Arkansas down 2. Davison, Miller, and Johnson will come to the plate in the bottom of the 6th. Well, already a number of tickets have been punched this weekend, including earlier on today. Tennessee taking down Nebraska. They will face 4-time defending national champ Oklahoma to start their trip to Oklahoma City. Welcome to the big dance. Texas awaiting the winner of Georgia, Florida. Gators currently with a 5-run lead entering the 7th. Oregon will face UCLA on Thursday, and Texas Tech and Nyjah Kennedy, a top 3 finalist for National Player of the Year, await Ole Miss, Arkansas.
Isn't it weird how it works out that Texas Tech, first OKC ticket in program history, awaits a team that will also be punching their first-time ticket? So someone is getting a first-time win. There's a lot of firsts in that little bracket.
Addison Duke comes into center field, moving Taylor Malvin over to right. Lara Boutte exits defensively. Line drive into center, testing Duke. 1 down.
You come in, the ball's gonna find you. Good swing though from Carly Davison. Doesn't have anything to show for it but for today, but her at-bats have been solid.
And now Kennedy Miller comes to the plate with 1 down in the 6th. Aliyah Benford has retired 11 straight Arkansas hitters. What do you do here, Kenzie, down to your final 5 outs in Game 3 of a Super Regional?
Try and put something together like what we just saw from Carly Davidson. Just ran into Duke out there in center field, but put a good swing on a drop ball. You have to look early in the count, 1 speed, and for me that would be the drop from Benford. And when you're facing a drop ball pitcher, you cannot be pull heavy. You have to see that ball deep, let it travel. One thing that Benford has done really well is gone in and out consistently. She has not been sitting on one side of the plate. And so hitters, not only are you choosing to look down, but you also have to choose one side of the plate, looking in, looking out.
Miller lays off, 2-2.
So like right there, she went drop ball inside, and then next pitch goes outside, changes speeds. Like that's a lot of different moving back and forth for hitters to deal with.
"12 straight Arkansas batters retired by Aliyah Benford, 2 down in the 6th.
There is so much trust in this changeup. Back to back, it looks like a drop ball. It is so hard to pick up. You see the spin, it tunnels 12-6 over just like her drop, and it just stalls. Falls out of the zone.
Reagan Johnson looks at strike 1. If there is someone in this lineup who could get a rally started against Benford, it's Johnson. Among the program's best ever at the plate. And the only Razorback in program history with multiple 70-hit seasons. All 4 of Arkansas's hits actually came in the second inning. 2 of those, in fact, came off of Benford when she came in to relieve Brianna Lopez, but they have been stifled at the plate ever since. And that might continue. Foul ball caught by Lansdell, and another 1-2-3 inning for Benford, who has retired 13 in a row. On to the 7th in Game 3. And we'll try to add some insurance here in the top half. The heart of their lineup due up, starting with Aliyah Benford against the freshman Peyton Burnham. Violent swing to start the 7th. This fierce competitor just last year was 1 game away from a trip to Oklahoma City with Baylor. Pops out to the left side and caught by Aliyah Benford. 1 away. Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals between the Thunder and the T-Wolves tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern. OKC up 2-1. Coverage begins with the Countdown Crew at 7:30. Bouncing ball foul off the bat of Percy Yamas. Has been one of the toughest strikeouts in the game this year. Up the middle, fielded it short by Riho. 2 outs.
Well, in relief, Peyton Burnham has done her job. Got the start, and it was a little different than we saw her get the start yesterday. Ole Miss jumped out early, had a free pass in there, had a single, a double, and a home run from the heart of the order for the Rebels, but here in relief has given Arkansas a chance.
Trying to keep it a 2-run game for the heart of the Arkansas lineup in the bottom of the 7th. 2, 3, and 4, Kramer, Ellis, and Day due up for the Razorbacks. Brady takes the 1-0 deep left field. Back on it is Kramer. Goodbye! 3-run Rebel lead in the 7th.
Well, the section for Ole Miss, the fans, the parents, I don't think they have sat down in the last couple of innings. They have stayed standing. A Brady bomb poster is already made, putting it to use. The senior. This is a player who has been with Ole Miss all 4 years. We've talked about the big transfer class, 8 of them new this season. Just such a cool moment for not only a senior, but someone who has put in the work. Wants to be the first. Has been with Jamie Traxel the whole way. Was actually committed to her when Jamie Traxel was at Minnesota. Coach Traxel goes to Ole Miss. Lexi Brady follows. A huge insurance run. And you know why that is so big? Because Bree Ellis is due second. So now that lead is at 3. Wow.
And Bree Ellis can't tie it. Lexi Brady extends her single-season home run program record to 17 and now has home runs in both NCAA tournament rounds, the regional and the super. 2-1 to Pickens. Deep center field. It is caught at the wall by Reagan Johnson. Whoa! Could that be the spark for Arkansas? Bree Ellis, one of the greatest players in the game, due up second. Her Hogs, season in the balance, down to their final 3 outs. Late developments in Fayetteville as we went to that last break. A late challenge by Ole Miss head coach Jamie Traxel as to whether or not this was a catch by Reagan Johnson in center. Of course, the call on the field was a catch, inning over. Kenzie Fowler, here's another look at it.
It's just whether or not Johnson has sole possession securing the ball. Kind of falls down a little bit. See the ball touch the ground there.
I have to imagine that what Jamie Traxel is challenging here, based on her continued conversation with home plate umpire Jim Bertuzzi on the field, is whether or not Reagan Johnson had control of the ball as she went to the ground with it after the initial catch. Here comes Chelsea Clark after the review.
After review, the fielder maintained control. The runner's out. That was Ole Miss's second challenge.
So a major momentum play potentially for Reagan Johnson, keeping this a 3-run game after the homer by Lexi Brady. And as we mentioned going to that last break, it'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up this inning for Arkansas, including the SEC Player of the Year, Bree Ellis. Matt Schumacher, the Hall of Famer, Kenzie Fowler with you. As a player in this moment, down to your final 3 outs, what does your approach have to be against a pitcher who has been untouchable?
You have to really mentally lock in. It's really hard to not look at the scoreboard. And you think about that insurance run that Lexi Brady, the senior for Ole Miss, just hit, could be huge. You're thinking about a senior of Bree Ellis. And the 3 batters right now that are due up, Reagan Kramer, Bree Ellis, Courtney Day, all seniors. So season on the line, career is on the line. This is what it's all about.
Neither team has ever been to a Women's College World Series, though players on both sides have been to OKC with other programs. History hangs in the balance as it has all weekend for these 2 teams. Arkansas has been here too many times, maybe, in their mind, having hosted now their 3rd Super in the last 5 years. Have yet to make it out, hoping for a late rally in the 7th against the 6th-year senior Aliyah Benford.
Well, everyone knows this right here, the graphic. We've put it up a couple of times this weekend if you've been with us since Friday, and the players know it as well. And Courtney Deifel knows that this has been, in my opinion, the best team in college softball as of late that just has not been able to get to Oklahoma City. They have been deserving. The resume has been there. It's just the moment. And right now the moment is big, but is it too big? Do you let it get too big?
This program is 1-19 in the NCAA tournament when trailing after the 6th inning. The caveat to that is the lone win came in the regional round when they scored 3 runs in the 7th to force extras against Oklahoma State. Went on to win that game in the 8th.
And it was this part of the lineup that had that rally. Was able to get a couple of people on, pass the bat. Here we go.
It's Reagan Kramer leading things off with a ball.
And on the flip side, you saw defensively for Ole Miss, there was a long huddle, a lot of deep breaths. How do you settle in? And for Aliyah Benford, she has to attack the zone.
2-0. Benford has retired 13 in a row. Since the 2nd inning. All 4 of Arkansas's hits coming in the 2nd. Kramer turns away from strike 1.
This leadoff batter for Benford is everything.
Kramer has been so good at getting on base. 17 straight games, including a walk earlier tonight in the 1st inning. The 2-2 from Benford. In the air to left field. Pone is there, 1 down in the 7th. Could this be the final collegiate at bat for one of the greatest power hitters in the history of our sport? Bree Ellis sitting on 26 home runs, needs 1 to take over the top spot on the single season SEC home run chart. Ball 1. She will go down as one of the greatest, not only in program history, but in collegiate softball history. The numbers she has produced this year, otherworldly.
I love that pitch right there. That was a changeup that Aliyah Benford shook to get to that pitch. That is a veteran, that is a senior.
Swing and a miss. 1-2 count to Bree Ellis.
Throw it again. Could be the third changeup in a row. You know the power that she holds. That changeup has been rolling for Benford in relief.
Ellis has walked and grounded out tonight against Benford. The 2-2. Full count to Bree Ellis. The SEC Player of the Year and a top 3 finalist for National Player of the Year, trying to extend her career at the plate. And she draws a walk with 1 out in the 7th. First hitter to reach against Benford since the 2nd inning. Is it enough to start a 1-out rally as Courtney Day comes to the plate? Courtney Day, one of the players in this game who, with her previous program, did reach the Women's College World Series. Did it with Texas in 2022.
After the walk to Ellis, Benford attacks the zone quickly. Knows she cannot allow another free pass in this inning. See the emotion, deep breath from Bree at first.
Rings are up, looking on the outside corner. And Ole Miss 1 out away from the program's first trip to Oklahoma City.
Just straight attack mode. Senior on senior, goes to the drop on the outside part of the plate, and too sweet to take with 2 strikes.
So it's up to Kaylee Wyckoff. Wyckoff has homered in this Super Regional, did it back on game 1. Ahead in the count 2-0 with a potential game-tying run on deck in the freshman Ella McDowell. Earlier in this game, Wyckoff delivered 1 of 2 base hits against Aliyah Benford. Driving in a run. 2-1 pitch. And now Arkansas down to its final strike. The emotions starting to set in for these Arkansas seniors. 2-2 from Aliyah Benford. And a full count to Kaylee Wyckoff. The Rebels are rolling on to OKC for the first time in program history. Their first Super Regional Championship, and they do it as the last unseeded team in the tournament.
This is what Supers is all about. You have the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. This moment, this is what you work your whole season for, your whole career for. It is so incredibly hard to get to OKC. Arkansas knows it. But Ole Miss, you have to have all the ingredients. You have to have a little bit of team magic when it comes to the postseason, and Ole Miss has that magic sprinkled all over them right now. I mean, dare we say it? The Rebs are hot, and they are going to OKC.
They will take on Texas Tech in the opening round of the Women's College World Series on Thursday. Thanks to Aliyah Benford, who has not only homered in the Super Regional, but has pitched flawlessly twice. She is the subject of our rewarding performance brought to you by Capital One.
This is a senior veteran that was on a mission. 5 innings in relief, only 2 hits, 1 run, and 4 strikeouts, and none bigger than the 2 in the bottom of the 7th. The celebration is on. Senior Lexi Brady, who has been at Ole Miss all 4 years, is the first to meet her. Look at her line, retired the 16 of the last 17 batters. Bree Ellis was the only one, got on base with a walk.
Benford came within 1 game last year of doing it. Now she's done it. Meanwhile, Bree Ellis, a remarkable collegiate career, comes to an end tonight. SEC Player of the Year finalist for National Player of the Year. We will see her at the professional ranks, but certainly will go down as one of the best to ever do it collegiately.
I mean, Arkansas had it the way that you draw it up with the 3 seniors in the starting lineup of Ellis, Kramer, and Courtney Day. Had the chance. It was set there, but Aliyah Benford was just too much. Could not be denied for Ole Miss. Man, this is cool to call a first.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
For Ole Miss, they lost 4 straight games at the end of the regular season. Since then, they've won 8 of 11. And Jamie Traxel called it a mini turnaround going into Game 3 against Mississippi State. Something changed. They had a players-only meeting after the coaches initially brought them together. And the Rebs are hot. Watch out in OKC for this unseeded group.
Great shot there, Coach Traxel. She has been working for this moment. And how about Coach Traxel, who has led Minnesota to the Women's College World Series, now finds a way to get it done with another team, her current team, Ole Miss, and this, you just got Jamied. The posters for the Ole Miss family section are top notch. It's great stuff.
So our field is set. Texas will take on Florida. Tennessee will take on Oklahoma. Ole Miss and Texas Tech in a battle of programs that have never been there before. And rounding out our field, a matchup of 2 former Pac-12 foes now in the Big Ten, Oregon and UCLA. But Ole Miss punches the final ticket to Oklahoma City, and we're now joined by Aliyah Benford. Aliyah, you came 1 game away from doing it last year with your previous program. You helped Ole Miss do it this year. How sweet does it feel right now?
Oh, it feels amazing. All year, you know, people have been giving excuses for Ole Miss anytime we won, and all I got to say is, why not the Rebels? Why couldn't we do this? And you know what? We came on and we showed them, and we did it, and here we are headed to the Women's College World Series.
Well, tell us about your mindset when you came into this game in relief. You just straight up 1 through 9, 3 up, 3 down, just pitched your best game at the right time.
I just knew my teammates were going to stick up for me on the box. Obviously, I wasn't hitting too well, but I knew I had to go on the mound and separate myself from that and just pitch for them. I knew they'd have my back and everything that I did, and I trust them with my whole heart, so I just knew I had to go out there and just pitch.
What is it about this team, Aliyah? We keep hearing it the looseness, the moxie, the swagger. Put it in your words. Why has this team done it as an unseeded team?
Because we know that everybody's doubting us. So we come out and we have fun and we play freely and we control what we can and submit to what we can't. This team is just amazing, and we're doing something that not many teams get to do.
Obviously a little bit emotional, just your senior season, you transfer over for this moment. Did you guys talk about this moment, or did you just let it happen?
We let it happen. Obviously we knew that we could do it, and we just let it happen. We didn't let the moment get too big for us, and we just kept playing.
Aliyah Benford, for the first time in program history, you have helped Ole Miss reach OKC. Congratulations.
Thank you, hotty toddy.
MVP performance for Aliyah Benford. And Jamie Traxel, she just got Jamied. The Gatorade bath.
Ooh, it
Now
matches the
making
uniforms.
Her second trip to OKC with her second different program. What a weekend.
Wow.
Ole Miss will be the lone unseeded team when we kick off the Women's College World Series on Thursday. For Kenzie Fowler, our entire ESPN crew, thank you so much for watching. Matt Schumacher signing off. Our World Series bracket is set. See you Thursday on ESPN.